Oh, it's the other guy. So.
Right.
Yeah.
We're live streaming, but we're back. We're all good. Yes, sir.
I call the January 26, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Order, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
John Marshall. Here. Dan Rohade.
Here.
Joe Sanders.
Here.
Jeff Jones. Here. Rich Deb.
Here.
Mike Conquest.
Here.
Laura Side.
All right, we have 6 out of 7 members present this evening. We don't have a full board, so if any petitioner would like to refer their petition to next month's meeting.
Could you put your microphone up, please?
Next item of business, approval of minutes. You have minutes in your packet. Corrections, comments.
I'll make a motion.
To approve a second.
Second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dan Rohade.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Deb.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
All right, it's the first meeting of the year, so we have election of the planning commission officers for 2026. Open it up with nominations for chairman of the planning commission.
I'll make a motion to nominate John Marshall.
I'll second that.
The other nominations? Seeing none, we'll close the nominations at this time. Call the roll.
Dan Rohade.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Deb.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes. Appreciate the board's vote of confidence in me. I think we'll have a good year. We had a good year last year, and I think this one will be better, so. Next item, next position to be nominated for will be the vice chair of the planning commission. Any nomination?
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to nominate Dan Rohade.
I respectfully decline the motion to be vice president. To give it to somebody else.
Okay.
There, I have an opportunity for them.
I'll make a motion to nominate Rich Day.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing none, we'll close the nominations. Please call the roll.
Dan Rohade.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Deb.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Dan.
Next person to nominate would be the executive secretary of the planning commission. Nomination.
I would renominate the current executive secretary.
Okay. Josh?
Accept the nomination.
Yes, I do think you are.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion is a second. Any further nominations? Close nominations and call the roll, please.
Dan Rohade.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Day.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes. All right, we don't have any old business tonight. New business. 26-01 J&J Land Development LLC petitioner, CNL Development owner requests a secondary plot approval for Lake Venture subdivision, southwest corner of Mississippi and east 109.
The petitioner is on Zoom.
Should be joining right now.
Tremble.
John or Bill, are you able to hear us?
Yes. Yep. Now we are.
Okay, well, give us your name and address and tell us what you would, why you're here.
I think Bill, you want me to handle that? So my name is John LePagley. I'm with Chris Burke Engineering. I am the engineer on behalf of Bill Kritzer from 660 Morningside Drive. I guess we are here we're in front of the Plan Commission for the secondary plat approval for the proposed Lake Ventures subdivision, which is just to the east of I-65. We are looking to get the B2 business parcel to develop the southern 8 acres of that property.
That's all you have at this time? All right, Josh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Petitioner is requesting a secondary plat approval for re-subdivision lots 4 of the Lake Ventures subdivision. Proposal is to separate lot 4 into 2 lots. Proposed lot 5 would then move forward with plans for a PUD called Destination Crown Point, a food truck park, which was presented to the Plan Commission as a workshop December of 2024. The primary plat was approved at the July 2025 Plan Commission meeting. Re-subdivision would take the 37.2 acre lot 4 and would separate it into lots 4 and 5. Lot 4 would be 26.32 acres, starting from 109th and would continue south along Mississippi Street, with the parcel line being just south of the pond. Lot 5 would be 10.88 acres of land on the south section of the pond, along the upcoming bike trail just to the north of the Edgewater subdivision. Planning Department recommends approval of petition 2601.
Okay, bring it to the board for any questions or comments. Board member, any questions? I think this was pretty well received in workshop.
Has there been any changes in plans and any ideas from the original proposal?
I have one.
Sure. Are you asking us or are you asking Josh? Sorry.
You guys.
No,
No, nothing major, nothing substantial has changed. We've just been working through conceptual designs. So no major changes on our end.
Mr. O'Hara?
With regard to the pond, there is no pond language on plat. I'm not sure if this needs a more comprehensive agreement between the city. What I don't want to happen is the city of Crown Point gets stuck with maintaining that pond. So I don't know how we want to handle this.
So right now, the maintenance of that pond is to the property owners, which are taking over the north side of the lot 4. From there, they will also be re-subdividing. So what you're going to see is this plat basically coming back for the north side and including the pond for primary and secondary.
Well, I think at minimum, we should have the plat magic pond language
We can have that language.
at least.
Yes.
But I think beyond, I think we need probably a more comprehensive agreement with regard to that pond.
Okay.
Because I certainly don't want to get into another high meadow situation where we're chewing the damn pond for the rest of our lives at a pretty good clip. So other than that,
I think when we talk about the pond too, we brought this up before. We got to make sure that that pond, when things start to get built there, is brought up to current safety standards, right?
And I know we had discussion about that. That's why the magic pond language on the plat may not be enough. And we may need something more, some more provisions in there with regard to the developer and the city on how they're going to maintain that pond. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Need some direction. Need to have some concepts if that's, 'cause I don't know what that means.
Well, I think we talked about, you know, this pond is a result of the construction of I-65, and it's just a straight slope down. And we need some step offs with regard to, you know, not anybody venturing into there, falling in there, and they just go straight to the bottom. Things like that, maintenance, insurance, you know, indemnifying the city against, God forbid, somebody ever does drown in there. Things of that nature, an agreement to that effect. But for our purposes today here, the pond language on the plat should be a good first step.
So I have a question for the petitioner. Do you intend on using the lake that's there as a steady part of, your development, I'm assuming it's are, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, the game plan is to have, some nice outlooks or maybe a boardwalk out in front, just for aesthetic purposes. Yes, correct.
Do you plan on, maintaining, I guess, the landscape to the edge of the pond? Is that your plan?
Correct. Yes.
You wouldn't have a problem with some kind of pond language on the plat, just, stating who's responsible for what? Is that what we're talking about, Mr. Aaron?
For maintaining the pond, treating it, making sure it,
Well, I mean, if they're maintaining the landscape to the pond, then they're gonna be involved in it too, right?
They own it.
Well,
it's in the event they don't maintain it. You need some type of lever to use in order to maintain the pond.
So John, I've actually got some language I'm gonna send over to you first thing in the morning. We just need you to add that to the plat before it comes in as Mylars to be signed off and recorded.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I guess, from my standpoint, it sounds like the northern property is responsible for maintaining the pond, but if the city needs that language added to our plat for approval, just for, cover everyone's bases, I personally have no issues with that.
Well, here we go. We don't want everybody pointing fingers at the other one. No, it's not them. It's those guys. They have to do it. No, it's those guys. They have to do it. Don't want to get in the middle of it. Certainly do not. And this has a lot more steps to go. So, it's on the horizon. It's on the radar. So at some point in time, they need to come to grips with this.
And we can have a maintenance agreement put in place for the PUD and the
There you go.
planning for the north side as well.
Perfect.
okay, any further concerns or questions for the petitioner?
I guess I would just want to clarify this with Josh. This thing, after tonight, needs to go through the PUD process before it continues, correct?
That is correct. Basically, if it gets approval tonight, that is just the beginning for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything further?
Hey, guys, this is Bill Kreitzer, petitioner. It was mentioned that the main focus, and we do feel it is the main focus, is the food truck park, but we also, as part of our drawings, we did submit two other what I would call projects that will be on the 8 acres, and that would be a activity area comprised mainly of pickleball, tennis court, shuffleboard, that kind of stuff. And the other area would also be like an event center compared to I'll just use the Avalon Center, but on a much scaled down, being able to host maybe a third or fourth of the people for high school graduations, small weddings, retirement parties, that kind of stuff. So I did want that at least brought up tonight. That is still a focus of what we would like to do in the PUD.
Thank you. Any further discussion? I guess the chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve petition 2601 secondary plat approval, subject to the addition of any type of, or the customary ordinance approved pond language for maintenance. That's my motion.
The motion for approval.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Dan Rohane,
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yep.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Day,
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Approved 6-0.
Hey,
Thank you.
Dan,
Yes.
can you hear me? This is Bill Kreitzer again. I just want you to know we are spending an exorbitant amount of time on choosing a water fountain.
Oh, good. As I said previously, this does not have to be the Bellagio water show. We do expect a couple of nice lit fountains in there. First, Bill, you got a lot of money. You can make it look.
Yeah. No. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'll donate the funds to for the brass plaque that, honors Dan Ryan. All right, you just look me up and send me a bill. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item of new business, 26-02 Mississippi Parkway Partners LLC petitioner owner requests its change of zone. This will be a public hearing from R1A residential to BP1 Business Park at 13306 Iowa Street to 13318 Iowa Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jeff Ban. I'm a principal and co-chairman of DDG team at 1155 Trout Line Road. About 4+ years ago, we were before you with a rezone request for the .65 Business Park for 200 acres south of the New Franciscan Hospital, south of 129th Avenue, and was bordered on the south side by 137th Avenue, wedged between Iowa Street and I-65. When we came to you 4 years ago, the 250 acres was zoned R1. We petitioned this board and the city council to rezone it to BP1, Business Park 1 classification. You approved it unanimously, as did the city council. And then fast forward 4 years later, we have gone through the development process. We put in Mississippi Parkway. We did all the infrastructure that's associated with the business park that you approved as well a year or two ago. And we now have 2 large food distributors and warehousing companies, Corex and Arcadia, out there. Since we were here before you last, the developers of .65 have acquired a couple of different pieces of property. Item 2602 on your agenda is what we're talking about, but also 2603 is part of the same kind of, it's part of the same project. And Ben, if you can, the other one is what I need you, there you go, because that's 2602. So along Iowa Street, which is this petition, 2 parcels were acquired. That rectangular shape consists of 6.4 acres, 2 parcels. It was a 5.4 acre house and land, and then to the north of it was a 1 acre parcel with a house on it. It was in the county. It was carved out of this parcel years ago. And in the last 3-4 months, we went through the city council process and have annexed this property. So now this property is part of the city's within the city's corporate limits. And what we are asking to have done tonight is to rezone the 6.4 acres along Iowa Street to be part of the business park of .65. And the white dashed line that you see on the screen is the boundary of the .65 250 acres that are out there. So it would just clean things up, and that 6.4 acres would be most likely part of a re-subdivision process, which we'll go through with you. The land north of it is called Lot 3 of the .65 Business Park. Will probably come before you and combine what we are rezoning into one larger lot along Iowa Street, north of Mississippi Parkway. So that's what we're here to do today. We've done the public notices in the newspaper. We've notified adjacent property owners. So we are all good to go to hold a public hearing and to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Mississippi Parkway Partners LLC is requesting a change of zone for area of 13306 and 13318 Iowa Street within the boundaries of the .65 Business Park. Current zoning for the property is R1A residential, with the proposed change going to BP1 Business Park. Property is surrounded by BP1 to the north, south, and west, and unincorporated residential and agricultural to the east. Property was annexed in the city in 2025 with R1A residential zoning. The proposed change to the property is consistent with the plan for that area and was explained during the annexation process. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and notice has been published in the newspaper. Planning Department has had no calls of remonstration support. Planning Department recommends approval of petition 2602.
Okay, we'll bring it to the board for any questions or comments. Board member have a question, comment?
I mean, I think this is following along with what we've thought of that corridor, right? Business park, the annexation, it's just some more parcels that are being acquired to kind of add into that full concept of it in that
Yeah.
area.
And to your point, at the city council, with the annexation petition, we annexed this property with the anticipation that it would be changed and zoned as BP1.
Unrelated, but just curious, that little corner down there, there's a holdout?
Not a holdout, we just not have gone and try to acquire it.
No, this is, I agree with Mr. Jeffrey. This is going in line with what we want to see.
Thank you.
Okay, any further comments? Seeing none, this is a public hearing, so at this time I will open it to the public. If anybody in the audience or on Zoom would like to ask a question or make a comment, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and present your comment, please.
My name is John Coon. I live at 13251 Iowa Street, which is just on the east side of Iowa Street, just slightly north of this property that they want to rezone. Those were my neighbors that lived in those houses. My concern about it is Iowa Street is not supposed to be a truck route. We already have numerous semis from the current one warehouse, the X-Core, that is open coming down Iowa Street. When they redid the road, I talked to the county people. The next day, the county came out and put new signs up. If you come out of Mississippi Boulevard onto Iowa Street, to the north side of that and to the south side of it on Iowa, they said that's the only spot we can put signs up because the rest is by the city. Because they saw the trucks coming down the road, they were just rebuilding. And they're like, this road is not designed for these trucks. It can't handle the weight of those semis coming in and out of there. And they're coming down Iowa Street way more often than I would have expected. I would like to see signs put on Mississippi Boulevard telling the truck they are not allowed on Iowa Street. Because when they get to that intersection at Iowa and 231, which everybody knows how deadly that intersection is, it's horrid. The cars back up past my house because the truck can't get out onto 231. And the cars get backed up for a quarter mile plus going south past 137 because the truck's trying to get out onto 231. They need to keep the trucks off of Route 230 or off of Iowa Street.
Why would they make it difficult on themselves to go out onto Iowa?
I have
Instead of
no
just go
idea.
back to
I've
Mississippi
seen them
Parkway?
coming down south on Iowa Street from north of 231. So my guess is they're following and they're getting off at 109 mistakenly and coming down Iowa all the way, the ones coming south. But I've watched them come out of the park and turn left onto Iowa Street, north onto Iowa Street to go up to go to 231.
Truckers from not around here, following GPS or whatever.
To me, there needs to be a sign there at the exit of the park or at the exit of each warehouse's lot, directing the trucks to go on Mississippi Boulevard to 231, not to go out onto Iowa Street. Because the truck traffic on Iowa Street, it just can't handle it.
It'd be a matter of enforcement too.
It would be.
A couple of stops and guys are paying overweight charges on it.
It would be,
They'll get the word out.
but it's, I mean, I've seen in the refrigerated trucks, and where else are they coming from or going to? I see them go past my house all the time. So my concern with this is if they do start putting businesses there, are they gonna direct any trucks onto Mississippi Boulevard and not have them go onto Iowa Street? That's my big concern with it. I don't want more trucks on Iowa Street. When the roundabout goes in, it'll make that intersection a little bit safer, but it's still, Iowa Street is not constructed to handle the weight of the semi.
I remember, oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, another concern of mine is if they put buildings there, how tall are they gonna be? I mean, we are still residential houses across the street. When they first went through this, they said the buildings wouldn't be more than like 40 feet tall or something like that. Now they have variances, they can be 100+ feet tall. I don't want 100+ foot tall building across the street from my house with light glaring in my window all the time.
Okay. Anything further you'd like to add?
And that's my two big concerns about it. And then, well, another one would be drainage, what's gonna happen with the water from it, but until they start developing something with it, we can't really tell what's gonna happen with that. Because there is a drainage swale that is just to the north of the property they wanna rezone. It's just to the north of that. It comes under Iowa Street and flows to the west. And that's the drainage for a lot of the property on the east side of Iowa Street there. So my concern is what's gonna happen with that. They can't just block off that drainage and flood us out on the east side.
Well, we're gonna try to answer all those questions for you.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Conrad.
Yeah, and Jeff helped me with this. I remember when the first warehouse went in. Franciscans weren't crazy about trucks coming north of 129th on Mississippi. Did that ever get worked out? And two, would this answer part of his concern, and maybe all of his concern, if they went Mississippi west and north to 129th, 129th goes to 231, right?
Mhm.
So would that be a viable solution?
Well, I think, we've gotten we have a business park that's been approved. It's been approved with a really healthy piece of public infrastructure, Mississippi Parkway. And I know that you're right, there were some concern of the hospital, but I think that's been worked out and between the city and the hospital and Ton and Blank, who owns the property north of us as well.
Okay.
So there's no issues using Mississippi Parkway at this point in time. And part of our improvement program that we have with the redevelopment commission as a part of a TIF bond that the city's approved is to improve the northern half of Mississippi Parkway that got built 20+ years ago. We're going to reconstruct some of that roadway and resurface here in the next year. And then also do an intersection improvement at Mississippi and 231 to put a traffic control system there, whether it's a traffic light or a roundabout, that still has to be determined. So I don't think using Mississippi Parkway is a problem. It's a 4-lane road for crying out loud, and it was built for that kind of thing. So that being said, I think Mr. Kuhn's point's well taken. That road isn't built for trucks today. And so I will work with the city and the Public Works Department to see what kind of signage can be constructed, at least at this point in time, and then communicate to the users that Mississippi Parkway needs to be the road that they primarily use. And I concur with what Mr. Kuhn had indicated, that it's a very unsafe intersection and trucks have no business making a left-hand turn going back out to the interstate. So.
Okay, public hearing's still open, so I'm sorry. Is anybody else in the audience like to come forward and speak on this petition?
Sam Kazitis, 225 East 113th Avenue. Does the city of Crown Point have a ordinance for truck traffic on a parkway in the city? Because I'm under the impression that most parkways are not allowed to have truck traffic on a parkway.
Boulevards, but not tonight, where it's a parkway. I don't think so. Boulevard, yeah.
Yeah, I thought Parkway was too. The other thing is, have you guys ever considered doing a moratorium on building in Crown Point until our infrastructure can get caught up with the stuff that's already been passed? You know, I mean, I've been digging and I don't know how many plots and plans have been already approved and are sitting in wait to be built. And all I see is you guys keep approving more and more property, more subdivisions. There's an issue we have with the wastewater treatment plant. And I don't know what you guys are doing up here. I don't know what the city council's doing. There's no financing. There's no financing for the sewage plant. It's in the IURC case that Greg from FSG states that phase 4 of the wastewater treatment plant is not financed. And you know, you had this gentleman earlier with asking for more land to build another subdivision. He's going to come back with a POD. You got, you know, this now they're going to build. What are they going to build there? Are they going to build another big, what the gentleman's concerned with, a 100 foot, another cold water storage, you know, cold storage facility? Or what's the plans to build on that property? And how much water is that going to use? You already have, and then on top of that, the city just keeps annexing in property
that they can't provide services to at this time. At the time that they're annexing property in, you can't service that territory. I don't know what's going on, but can you take a step back and think of the residents of Crown Point instead of the developers and these engineering firms that are making millions of dollars off of the taxpayers? Can you just take a step back and look at it that way? And maybe take some of the, try and do your best to take the burden off of the taxpayer in Crown Point?
Can I add something to this?
Yeah,
The burden's gonna be on the taxpayer if we don't develop things like this, like business complexes that can generate some revenue for the city. In a couple of years with the state laws and the new statute and the new SPM bill, the city's gonna have to implement a 1.5% income tax on the citizens. I don't wanna see that come this way.
that's gonna come regardless.
Huh?
That's gonna come regardless.
I mean, if I help it, if I can do anything about it, I don't wanna see that. I don't think it should come. But this is exactly the kind of development that we need along the highway and bring in some industrial and some commercial businesses there that can help generate revenue that can defray these costs in the future. Cause I'll tell you what, it's gonna come and you're gonna be standing there in 4 years screaming about why are we getting an income tax on us? Well, we put a moratorium on development.
That's not up against I-65. That's clear away from that's on Iowa
but the
Street.
whole- You know what I'm talking about, that whole corridor from Iowa to 65.
Okay.
You don't want more houses there.
No, I think, can you leave farmland alone at some point,
Tell the farmer, don't sell it.
It's easy to say.
Well, they're selling it.
So I guess you're against a moratorium of building and in Crown Point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I disagree with your thought process of
Disagree
keep
with yours.
building, pay.
Disagree.
Because it's not. All you're doing is kicking the can down the road and you're making more and more cost down the road for us. Even though you're getting money, it's like a monopoly game. And I think it's ridiculous.
I don't think
But I'll tell you
can
what,
sometime freeze.
the biggest issue is this water and sewage issue with this case. If anything, that should have been done through the city council. And I asked Chad, I asked you, before you guys voted yes on doing that. I asked you to defer that vote until, at least until the issue with the IURC case.
The phasing in the interceptor program, so
Yeah,
that needs to be done.
that needs to be done, yes.
Yeah. And it needs
And
to be
that's what
financed.
one of the rate hikes were, but that's not how it was advertised to the people. It was advertised to the people.
I realize it, but
Yeah.
we're off course. here, so.
Well,
Hey,
it is germane,
legally-
it's germane because it definitely affects these properties that you keep annexing in the city and you allow these developers to keep
I
building.
got you, but the
So,
whole thing is we're under city ordinance, that if the property meets the requirements, you can't deny a property owner to benefit from his property.
if the city stops annexing property, they don't have that problem.
I'm not on the annexation committee. I just deal with what they annex,
Okay, but
so,
do you agree?
no.
Do you agree with me on that?
No.
If the city stops annexing property, that's an issue that's easily resolved. And the other thing,
I think you're either, the whole saying is you're either growing or you're dying.
no,
Crown
that's,
Point-
that's,
Crown Point's not
that's,
dying.
that's BS. That's a poor thought process.
Okay, well. That's your.
Let the city manage their funds and live within their means instead of keep letting builders build property, getting that money to come in to pay for projects that they've already done. Balance the budget and living within your means.
I'm not on the budget committee either. Go ahead, Mr. Congress.
Yeah, look, I understand where you're coming from. I probably lived in this town longer than anybody else in this room, okay? I've seen it grow a lot. But in the same respect, I'm proud of the growth that we've had. And I believe John's right. But let me tell you a couple things. Joe and I used to have this discussion because Illinois has infrastructure and they're sitting there waiting for development. And that's why their taxes are so stinking high, because they're doing this in advance. Now, Jeff, you may remember this. Maryville was trying to annex all the way down, back under the Metros era, all the way down to 109th, they wanted the intersection, even at 101st, and we got that changed and everything else. We ended up annexing that, but the question was, how do we deal with sewer? We created a TIF district, the East Side Sewer Project, and development paid for the sewer line that went from the south side up to the plant. And if we had TIF districts and made sure they paid for infrastructure, that would help a lot. Okay, and I'm not arguing with you, but there's ways to do this. There's ways to do this.
Then start doing it that way.
You're at the wrong board. We don't control the budget, we don't control annexation. All we can do is plan the planning process and make sure that they're following the ordinances that have been written by the city council. We don't make the law, we just follow. Public hearing still open. Anybody else like to come forward and speak on this petition? Once, twice, 3 times. Close the public hearing, bring it back to the floor. Jeff, do you have any comments on anything that was spoken by public hearing?
Sure. As you indicated, this petition is about changing the zone of the 6.4 acres. It's already in the city. When the city annexed it, they had their professionals look at it, see whether or not the city services could be served under the current tax rates, as well as could water and sewer and other utilities be able to serve it under its current rate system. The consultants of the city said yes, it was adequate, that the existing systems could serve this property. If we were to develop this as residential as it's zoned, this would generate more sanitary sewer flow and would use more water than a typical business park user. The business park users we have out there right now, the cold storage, warehousing, and distribution buildings use far less per acre of water and generate far less per acre sanitary sewer. So I would argue to you that this is wise in terms of land use change. Again, this is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan for this area to be a business related land use zoning and not residential. And it is consistent with the property that surrounds it. So I ask you to find favor with this petition.
Any other board member have any comments?
Well, just what, to the first guy that spoke, you know, when they come back to build something, make sure you come back, because there are things that can be done with lighting, so you don't have lights shining in your bedroom window at night.
One of the things I would love to see Crown Point and all they got to take up the dark sky initiative, which is unheard of in this part of the country, but it has to do with light pollution. When I moved out there, the night sky was phenomenal 30 years ago. Now you can't see stars because there's so much light pollution around. All the dark sky initiative it has to do with outdoor lighting and how it's handled and managed, so you're not putting all this light pollution up into the sky.
Yeah, a lot of that's from the further north.
No, it's actually from out west in the mountains where I'm familiar with it from.
Well, I got a daughter in Flagstaff, and that's a national dark town, and I know what you're talking about. But
It can be done anywhere in the country. It's just a matter of putting the ordinances in to control the lighting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Anybody else have any comments, questions, or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve petition 26-02 as presented.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. We have any further discussion? With the signs on Iowa Street, how do we make that happen, Josh? You or
we can discuss that with Public Works and the experts in that department.
Well, I know what this gentleman was talking about. The trucks are on Iowa
Yeah,
Street.
we need to.
The county took care of it right away. They signed up the next day after I talked to them about it.
You know, county generally doesn't do it all. Some collect your taxes and waste them.
But that'll be a conversation we'll have with the Director of Public Works first thing in the morning.
Okay.
I would think too, I mean, Jeff, you deal with, you know, Corex and all those guys out there, and I think he makes a
Phone
valid
call
point
to the
of,
manager.
of something
yeah.
at the end of their driveway, you know, that just reminds us they're leaving.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty simple ask for us to
Yeah,
see.
a
if they
sign
can
it
do
at their driveway, all truck traffic
Yeah,
in the direction of the arrow.
yeah, I think it's pretty easy fix. Not that they're gonna pay attention to it, but at least it's a,
At least make
the old
the
college
effort.
try, right?
Yes.
But a smart driver's not gonna do it a second time. If he return trip, he knows that's a bad way to go. You know,
Because you can't get out.
Okay,
Yeah, if they've been through there once and they get stuck at Iowa 231, I don't think they'll go out that way again.
or they get a ticket for overwork.
all right, call a roll, please.
Leandro Haley,
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Dead.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Thank you.
All right.
And
New
if you want-
business, 26-03 BR2C Properties LLC petitioner owner requests a change of zone. This will be a public hearing. Purpose is for R1 residential to BP1 business park, location is Mississippi Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, has to do with the .65 Business Park. This is on the north end. As you can see on the exhibit on the screen, Mississippi Parkway runs north and south, and this parcel has about 900 feet, I think it is, frontage along Mississippi Parkway, contains 25.3 acres. The east half of that 25.3 acres was recently annexed into the city. It was brought in as R1A, and the west half was already in the city. And it appears that maybe there might have been a little error in the city zoning map. So as Josh and I looked at this, we decided that we're going to petition to change the zone for the entirety of the 25.3 acre parcel. It is adjacent and to the north of .65, and all the property around it is surrounded by property owned by Ton and Blank, who most likely will do some similar kinds of things that .65 is doing from a business park perspective. So again, this is a change of zone on this existing land that's in the city of Crown Point's boundary. And it's consistent with the comprehensive plan, and it's consistent with the adjacent properties in the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Josh?
BR2C Properties LLC is requesting a change of zone for an area just east of Mississippi Parkway, south of Franciscan Hospital, within the boundaries of the .65 Business Park. Current zoning for the property is R1 residential, with the proposed change going to BP1 Business Park. Property is surrounded by BP1 on all sides. The entire area was converted into BP1 Business Park back in 2021, but the two parcels in question were not included at the time. The petition is back before the city as a way of cleaning up spot zoning to keep the area consistent. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and notice has been published in the newspaper. Planning department has received no calls of remonstration or support. Planning department recommends approval of petition 2603.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks for the change of zone workshop. Thanks, Jeff. You did a nice job with the presentation. What, bring it back to the board. Any questions or comments from any board members? Now let's open it up to the public. See what they have to say. Anybody in the public like to come forward, state your name and address for the record, and your question, comment, or complaint about this petition. Anybody on Zoom? No, sir. Once, twice. 3 times, and then close the public hearing. Bring it back to the board. Comments, questions, or motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 2603 as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All roll, please.
Andrew Healy,
Yes.
Joe Sanders. Yes. Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Rich Dad.
Yes.
Mike Conrad.
Yes.
John Martin.
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you, everyone. And then this goes to the city council.
On February 2nd
Sounds good.
at 6 p.m.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Probably about the, can you pronounce your name on the next petition, 2604?
Kolashevsky, good Irishman.
No, Shamar.
Shamir Manani.
There we go. Petitioner, Beacon Hill TEI Entities LLC owner. Request is a workshop for a gas station at 200 109th Avenue. This is a workshop, so purpose of the workshop is to see what the board members feel about your project and give you any ideas that they think may be changed. So there will be no vote tonight, just, okay. Would you like to come forward?
Mr. President, I need to step down. So I'd like to introduce myself.
Record show that Dan O'Haley has stepped down from the plan commission. State your name and address for the record and tell us what you'd like to do.
My name is Chris Kolashevsky. I'm from WT Group. We're the architects for this project for Lucky Brothers. With me tonight is, as you saw, Shamir, as well as Jeff is the civil engineer as well. We would like to show the project. If we could go to the next slide. This is a very unique piece of property. It's on 109. It's just east of Broadway, right directly north of the Drive and Shine, if you can picture that, and then just south of the retail center just north of us. What's unique about this property is that it has a gas line going diagonally right through the property itself. So very limited usage, we feel, can be applied to this site. If you go to the next site plan, and I do apologize, Josh, just we accidentally put the old site plan in
They
there.
have the new one in their packets.
Okay, so look at your packets, please. We do not have the drive-through that goes around the building. So we are not asking for a variance for the rear yard setback. But you'll notice that the property is divided basically into two triangles. The first triangle is right along 109th, and you can see the dotted line just south of our grass line where the curb line is between the pavement and the grass. That is the gas line. We've had the gas company themselves actually locate the gas line because we hate to design something and then find that the gas line is 20 feet over. So we have had our surveyors, Jeff's company, to go out there and locate that. And we have determined that this is the site, the layout. And so kind of unique in that it's that triangle. So the upper triangle is the proposed gas station itself. Just as a reference point, in terms of a typical FAR or floor area ratio, will be about 1 for commercial development. We're 0.3. So we're only 3/10 of a typical commercial density. Also, the LSR ratio, which is typically in commercial about 20%, we're at 56%. One of the other unique things about this is that the inline canopy, as you see there, is single row of canopies, and that goes for efficiency and speed and convenience. Two of the things that makes a retail petroleum site successful is being convenient and being safe. And so by able to see all the slots and not have to drive around cars to get to a pump, you can easily access the pumps themselves. We have parking right along the front of the building itself. The building's about 3,800 square feet. We can go to the next slide, please. This is the front or the southern facade. Again, we're a little bit on an angle, so it doesn't quite match. But if you can go through to the other slide as well, and then come back to this one. Basically, what we're showing is that our building is masonry all the way around. And so it's really a four-sided building. And we know we're kind of in an island. If we could go back to the site plan, actually, we can see that we're in an island. There's traffic going all the way around our site. And so we do make our building all in masonry all around. We could go a couple slides down to the photos. Yes. This is a site that's just recently opened, and this, of course, is the front part. But the next slide, please. A little bit closer of the building itself. Again, you can see it's all masonry. And then the next slide, please. Oh, I apologize. It didn't get into the thing. In your packets, there will be an additional picture right here, looking at this. And that is the back of this building. And so that's what I was trying to make the point, is that this is really a four-sided building. So we could go back. You don't have that in your packet? Okay, I apologize. So we're going back to the site plan. So the uniqueness with this, we have contacted the gas pipeline. We've been in direct communication with them, understanding their requirements, how close we can get to the property line. We're totally out of their easement. The only thing that we have going into their property is you can see an ID sign closer to 109, so we can tell the customers we're there. We will have a single conduit for power and a single conduit for data. And that's the only thing that's crossing the pipeline, and they're totally fine with that. That's our presentation for this evening. I said way too much, and we're here available for your questions and very interested in getting your comments. I apologize. One other thing I would like to say is that Mr. McGee is an existing business owner in Crown Point. And if you want to just explain a little bit your other site there.
Yeah, we just need you to state your name and address for the record. It can be the business address.
I'm Shmir Manhani. I'm the owner of the Quick Run Station, which is a Shell station on the intersection of Mississippi and 109th that just recently last year turned into a Shell. I was here in front of the town council about 6 years ago when we built that new. And I think the community knows me pretty good. And I've been around here for a while that you all guys in Crown Point know me a little bit. So I'm not a new person in town. I'm somebody that's already from town. And hopefully you like the facility or never had any complaints the way we run that. And it's been, well, we had couple tough years when roundabouts were closed for the road intersection there. But since the last 4 years or so, it's been a really good business. And I think the community loves us to be a part of that.
Go ahead, Josh.
Just to add on a couple quick things. One, as they said, he is a current business owner with a gas station on 109th. I have never had to send that gas station a violation letter for anything. It's clean. I don't have any issues with it. On top of it, when they brought in this site plan and I went over the variances that would be required, one of the first times I've ever seen it, the petitioner went, "Yeah, I don't want variances, just get rid of all of that, replace it with landscaping." So the drive aisle shown in this plan, that drive-through, when I said that would need side yard and rear yard setbacks, he went, "Then I don't need a drive-through, just get rid of it and put trees there." So that was, from my end, very much appreciated.
Thank you, Josh. Bring it to the board for questions or comments.
So on that line, the updated picture shows no drive-through.
Correct. The one in your packet that has no drive-through is the most up-to-date.
But the elevations, but we know that's gone, because the elevations still have the awnings and the windows for drive through the west and the.
Right.
on that, but we know that's gone. I got asked, that is a clean station on the east side of 109th. And just right up the street from this is the BP station. Obviously, I'm gonna assume you did studies and you see there's enough traffic.
Yeah, we
enough
just wanted
demand for a
to
third gas
capture
station.
on the incoming traffic towards in town, right off of when, like the evening time traffic that's coming off from 65 into Crown Point. And the other stations that are there, including the one that I have, are on the south side of 109. And we thought there was one needed on the north side. And due to a traffic road, a lot of people would, mostly it's 50% business. Some people like to fuel up in the morning times, but some people like to fuel up in the evening times. And due to an evening traffic, we call for it. And I just wanted to say something. I come from like small town Iowa, where everybody knows everybody. You know, like my dad started this from like 800 people or 1,000 people or 1,200 people. I just don't want to like fight with anybody for anything. I just want to be, you know, you want to be a part of a community. You want to work with the community. You want to be the community. That's what I like. And whatever ordinances are in town, I respect all them, and I just want to build around that. If people like me, they will make their ways around to come to me. I don't want another entrance from 109th. I don't want to complicate any traffic. I just want to use the flow which is there already. So that's the whole model. When I talked to Josh and I was like, Josh, I don't want any special variances, nothing. I just want to see how we can fit the model that can just work easily. And that's why we came up with this. It's a pretty odd design because of the gas line, but we kept the gas line in mind too when we put this together. And it was pretty tough to put something, it's a pretty vacant land. It's like 3-4 acres, but because of the gas line, you cannot have multiple users there. So we just tried to fit one in.
That'll be remain green space then, where the.
Yes, that'll remain green space, yes. And plus we will have to do more what the town ordinance wants, you know.
Is the question I have is the loading space that you have on your map there, is that for your truck deliveries? Is that what that's gonna be used for?
Yes, we kept it to the side so they don't interfere with the other traffic. They're not in the way. So that's why we stopped our parking. We put dumpsters right next to it, and then we kept that loading space after it.
And then what's to the north, just south of the trees there? What's that section there?
The south of, that's where the gas fuel loading.
That's where the fuel is going
Yeah,
in?
fuel would
Okay.
come, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, typically for 15-20 minutes in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
Mostly like to have them overnight deliveries.
Yeah.
So they don't disturb the pattern.
Thank you.
And the reason for the placement there is that the fueling is always done on the passenger side of the vehicle. So the truck would be coming in off the east entrance, coming across, and then parking there. That way they're out of the traffic and as safe as can be.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mike Conquest.
Yeah, I like the building. It's nice. One thing that we've pushed other gas stations along Broadway is on the canopies to do a brick column. You might want to look at the Speedway at the corner of 109th and Broadway.
Yeah, we actually have that in plan.
Okay, very good. Well, people up here know I'm a little off the rocker, but hey, this is maybe just thinking ahead a little bit. I think we've missed the boat in this town by not having sidewalks along businesses and stuff like that. And I think this would be a great place to have a sidewalk. In fact, it's darn near a shame. I drove by there today, and if you could have a little bridge through the ditch area, across the ditch area, you've got a hotel as a neighbor, and man, they could just walk over and grab a bite to eat or grab a snack or something. I mean, that'd be neat, but when all this started, you know, you didn't have residential areas close to a lot of things, but as we continue to grow, we get more residential areas. So just, I know the way everything exists right now, a sidewalk is just totally, you know, out of line, but
Actually, no, it's required by ordinance.
okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, the
Thank
site is required.
The other thing is with the ditch on the other, I'm assuming your property extends to the east of the road on the east. That's kind of what it shows on this drawing.
Right, right. Yeah.
So, and I know we don't have spills and stuff like that anymore, and it's too early to talk about, but just when you get all your plans, just make sure you got a good stormwater runoff plan. We don't need to be putting petroleum in the ditch.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm just gonna ask this because we've.
If I
kind
may,
of-
could I address that real quick?
Pardon?
If I may, could I address that real quick? We basically do a belt and suspenders approach to that. We have in all our storm receptors, we have these filters that filter right there. Then we go prior to whatever the detention facility is, we have what's called an aqua swirl, which is a vortex device that separates it as well. So when the water actually goes, the rainwater that hits the pavement and goes into the storm sewer, by the time it gets to the detention area, it's already gone through to clean.
Very cool, thank you. And the last thing is, and I only ask because we've been had before where people have said, well, that was just a workshop. We're not building the same picture we showed you in the workshop, but the renderings of your building, is that the building you're gonna build?
Which is the actual pictures. Yeah.
Chris, can I?
Yeah. certainly.
So we opened one site in Portage, Indiana, right next to a YMCA in November. So you could see that. That's a quick run also, the same site. And there's one currently under construction in town of Sherryville, which is actually Crown Point address, but it's Sherryville jurisdiction, right next to the Land Rover dealership, Burr and Highway 30. So that's pretty much, you can say it's the same concept.
Where's
there.
the Portage location?
Portage, right on Willow Creek Road. Oh, yeah, Willow Creek. It's right next to the YMCA center there. So that was a quick run to it. So it's going to be pretty much the same building.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's all I got. Thanks.
Chad, anything to add?
I've got a couple questions ideas maybe. And Jeff, one of these might actually be for you. Are they allowing over those pipelines now, are they allowing parking lot or absolutely not?
Pretty much absolutely not. We worked with them, when we relocated 109th
Right.
pipeline, we negotiated that with them, but like the hotel, Russ, we were not. We're not allowed to. We weren't able to allow, the hotel next to I-65, the Town Place Suites.
Yeah.
We have parking up against the easement line. We tried to get into the easement, they wouldn't let us.
Okay. So with that green space, right, that leaves the big triangle corner of green space. I'm just kind of throwing things out here, but I mean, that might be a nice spot for kind of a landscape feature, right? If you can stay outside of the right of way of the pipeline, you're on the corner. Just some, yes.
There was a project just kitty corner from that where we had them do landscaping. And after they put the landscaping in, someone from Buckeye Pipeline came and tore it all out and said they won't even allow landscaping. Within the easement. Yeah.
But we've got a pretty good spot outside of the right of way for the pipeline, right? I mean, just kind of thinking is, and I understand like you don't want to block line of sight. I mean, there's some certain things, but something could probably be done to kind of enhance that corner instead of just leaving it as like.
The landscape requirements have calculations that should account for that as well. I know when we were looking at the site initially, our thoughts were they may have to allocate some landscaping somewhere else, and that would actually spot for it, as long as we can get that approval from Buckeye Pipeline.
And then the other things I'm just gonna say, because we've had gas stations come in my time on this board. And I've always brought this up and it's usually met with, you're absolutely right, that's not what we're gonna do. But we wind up seeing, you know, a nice building, right? A nice brick building, the facade is nice. You know, we always say that we don't want you to be in the mulch business where you're getting, you know, delivery of mulch in between every gas pump in the summer. And everybody's like, right, and, you know, we don't wanna clog up the front of the buildings and everybody says you're right, and we don't want a million different advertisement on the windows and everybody says you're right. And the next thing you know, we've got 2 propane stations, 2 ice machines, you know, we're selling windshield wiper fluid, and it's, before you know, you almost can't see the building. Every window is covered up with some sort of advertisement for a slushy or something going on. So I would just like to be clear that, and I understand that's, you know, that's a gas station business model, but it can't be on the front facade of the building. If we're thinking about doing, we gotta try and keep that stuff off to the side, in my opinion. And then I would just, what Mike had talked about, right? We do have some design standards up and down that Broadway corridor. We do hear a lot of times, hey, this is all masonry. And then I couldn't tell exactly, you know, even with our renderings, I can't tell exactly if it's brick or stone or rock face block or what it is. But we hear a lot of times it's all masonry, and then people come in and say, well, it's, you know, it's an EIFS siding, which is made of a masonry type material. And I'm hoping that we're all on the same page, that we're looking for a, you know, the brick block look, not necessarily a whole building with, you know, wood grain EIFS.
No, it's pretty important. It's very good you addressed that. At the current quick runs that we have, there's one in BP in Highland too, right in front of Sophia Pancake House there next to the Hyundai dealership. The one in Portage we opened up, and the one right here in Crown Point. We really do not get those mulch in because to us it really doesn't look neat and clean. We do have our ice merchandisers inside our buildings because we keep it pretty big. And all the stores we built are either a wood frame with a brick veneer on it, or either it's already a brick, you know, block, the one that you see in Crown Point. So we all the projects we did, we never tried to cut corners on any of this. We are happy, we are proud. I built these, I stain them, I upkeep them. My model is not to just flip the properties or sell them, or, you know, I just think they're my house, my employees are my family, and my community is something I look forward for. So it'll be kept clean, good. And if anything else, Josh is always there to give me a call.
Well, I mean, and I will be
You know,
honest with you,
yes,
when your first gas station got up right at the one on the south side of 109th,
yes,
I represent Waterside Crossing across the road.
yes,
And I'd gotten numerous calls about, you've got a kind of those lights where you can sort of direct what they, you know,
Yes.
how they go.
yes.
And a couple just, you know, you just opened,
Yeah.
a couple weren't set exactly
Yeah,
right.
and
They were shining in
yeah,
the
and
backyards.
the neighbors came,
And it
yeah.
was rectified within a couple of days' time.
Yeah,
which I
within
certainly
24
appreciate.
hours. Yeah, I
Yes.
think I didn't even have got a letter for them. If somebody says something, and some houses that just got built behind us or around us, they just all come to me and they talk to me, and you know, we just try to, you know, just again, friendly neighbors, friendly community, and just want to listen to everybody, you know.
Mr. Jeffers, to your point, you talked about outdoor merchandise sales in 2021. When we revamped the ordinance, we got rid of those. So a lot of the newer businesses you see, you're not seeing the outdoor merchandise sales, the stockpiles of mulch, things like that. And again, that's not something I've ever had to send him a violation.
Yeah,
I go by your station a lot. I just feel like
yeah,
it's incumbent on me to say it so that nobody can say, you never mentioned that to me at workshop.
yes, no, that's good. Thank you. Any other
How many
questions?
shops do you have?
How many what?
How many stations do you have in here?
9. Yeah. The furthest one is Lamont, Illinois.
And just in reference, we don't have any ethos, we don't have any hardy board, no Nichiha. It is either a concrete masonry or it is a clay masonry. For
They are supplied, no matter wherever I did the projects, Crown Brick supplied them. So I'm really happy about that too.
Okay, anybody else with any questions, comments? No, I don't have any additional questions. My colleagues have asked all those, so hopefully you have an idea of what the Crown Point Plan Commission is thinking. Doesn't seem, hopefully, we've had about 10 projects coming on that lot, that gas line. That, oil, about that line, so hopefully yours was no winner. Wait, you can get that thing, get that built. So with that being said, we'll file your petition with Josh and we'll see you that's when you're ready.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have any other business this evening. Miscellaneous business? Do I have any miscellaneous business? Josh? Yes, sir. Any board member? Let the record show that Mr. Rohaley has rejoined the board.